Today, we're gonna get inside the mind and, more importantly, the body of the most disorganized, drunk, and ridiculously powerful being to ever walk the earth. John Hancock. Forget Superman flying all gracefully with his cape fluttering. Forget Batman with his high-tech toys. What if I told you that the most badass, most invincible, and most I-don't-give-a-shit hero in the universe doesn't wear his underwear over his pants, but instead wears dirty clothes, smells like booze, and is homeless? Get your brain ready, because today we're diving deep into the bizarre anatomy, insane powers, and depressed psyche of Hancock, the guy who'll toss a shark back into the ocean for you but still manage to send you to the hospital in the process. But for real, he's a god with a drinking problem.
I don't even remember that.
I guarantee you, we're about to uncover the secrets of a different kind of deity. We're gonna demystify the chaos that is this guy. And by the end, you'll either want to hug him or punch him in the face. Or both, like a mix of rage and admiration. The bizarre anatomy and powers of John Hancock. You know that guy who looks like he just stumbled out of a 3 a.m. bar fight, reeking of booze and nursing a permanent hangover, but who can deep down stop a train with his chest without breaking a sweat? Yeah, that's John Hancock. Or just Hancock, the homeless superhero we love to hate and hate to love. And the most intriguing part is, how the hell does this guy even work? We're gonna try to figure that out. But I'm warning you now, science and common sense get thrown out the window here. It's more like a mix of magic, stubbornness, and a massive dose of fuck it. The origin of the cosmic chaos. How'd he get all this shit without asking? The big question, and the one that keeps me up at night when I'm thinking about superheroes and life in general, is how did he become what he is? In the movie, we find out that Hancock didn't get his powers. He was born with them. He and Mary, you know, the one who shows up later and is, honestly, his other half, are part of a race or species, the Seraphim. They're not mutants or failed science experiments from some crazy lab. They're like fallen gods, but without the capes and the holy aura. They're ancient. Thousands of years wandering the earth, protecting humanity. But with a catch, that's the height of divine irony. When they're together, close to each other, mortality comes knocking. Like, they're only invincible if they're apart. To me, that's like a genetically modified miracle with a touch of a twisted divine joke. Imagine being born with that kind of power and no instruction manual. The guy wakes up one day and realizes he can fly, but he doesn't have money for the bus. He saves the world, but forgets to pay his rent. It's the biggest cosmic joke ever. And that's the first layer of social commentary right there, just to get you thinking. The guy has the power to change the world, to be a beacon of hope, but he lives in the gutter. How many talented, badass people do we see get lost out there for lack of support, a clear purpose, or a little push, or a punch to the face, in the right direction, right? Hancock is the epitome of that. He has all the potential in the universe, but he's drowning in his own inertia, his own pain, and his own bottle of whiskey. It's almost a mirror of our own procrastination, just with superpowers and global-scale destruction of public property. Inside the drunken giant, where biology failed miserably and created a glorious abomination, let's try to imagine what's going on inside this man's body. Forget the human biology you learned in school. We're on a whole other level here. His organs aren't made of normal flesh and bone. They're a masterpiece of alien, or maybe divine, engineering, mixed with a stubbornness so immense that the universe itself just gave up. The cells. The reinforced concrete of existence. Hancock's cells must be like reinforced concrete mixed with adamantium and the soul of a pissed-off bull, coated in vibranium, and dipped in an essence of not gonna die today. They don't die. They regenerate instantly. If one of his molecules gets damaged, another one pops up in its place before the first one even realizes it's screwed. It's a self-healing process so absurd that you start to wonder, okay, but how did this guy not die when he fell from 10 kilometers up? Are his lungs made of steel? Or does he just not care about the laws of physics? The answer, my friend, is that he just doesn't care. His physiology ignores physics and biology with an Olympic-level disdain. It's like his body has a permanent bug that prevents it from ever breaking or failing. Each cell must have a mini-fusion reactor ensuring the energy is always there for immediate reconstruction. The bones. The skeleton of a neutron star. His skeleton? Forget cartilage, calcium, all that mortal bullshit. Think vibranium mixed with whatever they make the Norse gods' hammers out of, but without the glam of Black Panther or Thor. He's unbreakable. Hit by a train? The train crumples. Hancock dusts himself off and flips you the bird. We don't see his bones realigning because they never get misaligned in the first place. They're a structure so dense and tough they'd probably cause a gravitational singularity if he stopped flying for too long. I bet if you tried to take an X-ray of him, the machine would explode before it could even see a single vertebra. The muscles, fibers of anarchic strength. Hancock's muscles aren't made of regular protein fibers. They're probably clusters of pure, condensed kinetic energy wrapped in an indestructible membrane. When he flexes a muscle, it's not a simple contraction, it's a controlled, and often uncontrolled, release of brutal force. Imagine trying to punch someone and, instead of connecting, you destroy half the wall. Now imagine that on a superhero scale. That's what Hancock does daily. His strength isn't just muscular, it's raw, untamed kinetic force, like a tsunami of pure, concentrated power. The internal organs, the engineering of an alcoholic god. Lungs, heart, liver, and that poor thing must be the most overworked organ of all, you know? With the amount of alcohol he drinks, his liver should be a supervillain on its own. They're not made of steel, but of a substance that resists impacts and pressures that would make any other being explode into a million pieces. It's like they're made of a super elastic, indestructible gel that absorbs any shock and distributes it evenly. His heart doesn't beat through muscle contraction, but through an energy resonance that keeps it constantly active, like a personal nuclear reactor. And the craziest part is that this super powerful reactor runs on French fries and cheap whiskey. Now that's energy efficiency, my friends. I'd say his brain must be made of something special too, because, despite all the chaos, he still has flashes of genius and, most importantly, a human heart, even if it's hidden under layers of sarcasm. The powers. The manifestation of divine laziness and unstoppable force. Now, let's get to the powers that make him this force of nature. They're spectacular, but the way he uses them is what makes them so. Hancock, immortality and invulnerability. The curse of eternity. This is the cherry on top, and also the double-edged sword. Hancock simply can't die. Injuries, diseases, falls from skyscrapers, nuclear explosions, getting run over by high-speed trains, he survives it all. His skin is an organic force field. It's not that he doesn't feel pain, but the pain is fleeting because his body fixes itself at the speed of light. It's basically a mockery of life and death. He heals fast, but he can't heal his laziness. He's immortal, but he lives like he's already given up on life. That's his real contradiction. His invulnerability is so complete that he becomes, paradoxically, the loneliest being on the planet. He watches empires rise and fall, people he knows grow old and die, and he remains unchanged. That, my friend, is a psychological burden that not even a punch from Superman could lift. It's a prison of infinity. Super strength. The tsunami in a fist. This is the most visceral part. The part that makes you scream, "Holy shit!" at the screen. What does he do with one punch? He shatters buildings, throws sharks back into the sea, lifts ships. It's a strength so absurd we don't even have a scale to compare it to. It's not about what he can lift, it's about what he can't help but destroy. His strength isn't just muscular, it's raw, untamed kinetic force, like a tsunami of pure power. The guy has the strength to tear a bus in half with one punch, and he uses it to toss a whale back into the ocean. It's an almost anarchic power, lacking the finesse and control of other heroes. He throws things, he blows things up, and then he grumbles about the work it'll take to fix it. Flight, the bill that ignores gravity. Ah, his flight. Superman flies like a graceful, precise ballerina. Iron Man has propulsion jets. Hancock? He flies like a stray bullet that doesn't know where it's going, leaving a trail of destruction and complaints in his wake. He looks like he's half asleep in the air, kind of crooked, but he's moving at supersonic speeds. His lift must be the result of some gravitational energy manipulation that his body unconsciously emits, like a walking anti-gravity field powered by resentment. And the most badass part is that he flies high, but he never bothers to get a decent suit to look presentable. He's the personification of wasted talent, the perfect metaphor for, I could but I don't want to. Super speed, fast, but with no direction. Though it's not his main focus, he has impressive speed, especially in flight. He can react to bullets, dodge missiles, and cover vast distances in seconds. It's not Flash-level speed, the kind that bends reality, but it's the speed of a runaway bulldozer, fast, but with zero finesse. He doesn't stop to think, he just goes. It's the speed of impulsiveness, of someone who's tired of everything and just wants to solve the problem as fast as possible so he can go grab a drink and pass out. The mind of a misanthropic god. The psychology of Hancock. And here we get to the part that, for me, is the most interesting. The mind behind the power. How can he be so badass and so human at the same time? Hancock isn't just powerful, he's unhappy. And that unhappiness is a power in itself, a shield against his own responsibility. He has amnesia, or at least pretends to for most of the time, doesn't know who he is or where he came from, and that sinks him into a spiral of isolation and self-sabotage. We see him using alcohol as a way to cope with his own loneliness, with the pain of being different and with the pressure of being a hero that nobody really likes. His immortality and invulnerability, which would be gifts to anyone else, are a prison for him. He can't die, but he watches everyone he knows grow old and die. I guarantee you, that weighs on the soul more than 1,000 tons of steel. It's the burden of a being who transcends mortality but can't transcend his own anguish. He is the hero who needs therapy the most in the entire universe. And that's where self-awareness comes in. Hancock only starts to change when he's forced to look inward, to see the impact of his actions on others, and to understand the true meaning of his existence with the help of Ray and Mary. He realizes that being a hero isn't just about having powers, but about having responsibility, empathy, and most importantly, a little bit of dignity. It's the journey of a god who needs to learn how to be human. High level and low respect, comparisons with other heroes. Just so you get a sense of how bizarre Hancock is, let's compare him to a few colleagues in the business. Hancock versus Superman. Superman is the Boy Scout, the symbol of hope, the light that guides humanity. Hancock is the Monday morning hangover after a weekend bender. While Supes lifts a car with a smile on his face, Hancock lifts it with an expression that screams, "I wish I were asleep right now." One uses his strength to save with surgical precision. The other uses it to get shit out of the way with a loud bang. Superman's ethics are unshakable. Hancock's are, "Just leave me alone and I'll save this damn thing real quick." And make no mistake, in a street fight, Hancock is more unpredictable and destructive. He doesn't play fair. Hancock versus Hulk. The Hulk is pure, uncontrolled rage and destruction, but he has Banner to pull in the reins. Sometimes, Hancock has the rage, but adds indifference and laziness to the mix. Hulk is uncontrolled chaos. Hancock is chaos that chooses not to be controlled because he's just too tired. The Hulk smashes because he can't contain himself. Hancock smashes because it's the fastest way to get rid of a problem and head to the bar. Hancock versus Wolverine. Both have a healing factor, but Wolverine feels the pain of every cut, every bone reknitting itself. Hancock heals, and maybe doesn't even notice he got hurt. He's so used to it. Wolverine is a survivor who fights for every piece of himself. Hancock is an immortal who lives as if he's already given up. One is brutal out of necessity, the other out of choice and habit. The Hancock effect. Well-intentioned or not so well-intentioned chaos on society. Hancock's presence in the city isn't just about salvation, it's about collateral chaos. He saves lives, but the cost in public property and taxpayer money is astronomical. This raises a hell of a discussion about the price of having a hero, especially one so sloppy. The media hates him, the police hate him, but when the shit hits the fan, who do they call? Him. It's the irony of life. We need help, but we want that help to come packaged neatly and tidily, just the way we expect. Hancock forces us to confront the idea that heroism can come in ugly, smelly, antisocial packages. He's a reflection of our own hypocrisy, wanting the result without accepting the messy process. He's proof that the system is more concerned with image than with effectiveness. The social critique behind the super homeless guy. Who's the real monster? But the most intriguing thing about Hancock isn't his strength, it's his human weakness. We look at him and think, how can a guy so badass be so disorganized as hell? He has super strength, but he seems tired of everything. Like, he saves the world but forgets to pay his rent. That's the genius stroke of the movie and the social critique it shoves in our faces. Limitless potential versus a pathetic reality. Hancock is a distorted mirror of our own genius and our own pathetic flaws. How many times have we found ourselves with incredible potential but drowning in bad habits, procrastination, or just the lack of a clear why? He's the superhero who, despite being physically invincible, is the most emotionally vulnerable. That connects us to him, because deep down, we also have our own powers, talents, skills, but sometimes we're just too Hancock, lost in our own chaos. He doesn't have a fortress of solitude. He has a park bench and a bottle of booze. He doesn't have a rigid moral code. He has a temper tantrum and then sometimes regrets it. And that's why he's so damn interesting. He makes us question, who is more of a hero? The guy who follows all the rules and is perfect? Or the guy who, despite all his flaws, still gets up to help, even while grumbling about it? Conclusion. Hancock is a walking enigma, a being with the anatomy of a god, the powers of a force of nature, and the psyche of a rebellious teenager with serious self-image and drinking problems. How he works is a mystery wrapped in sarcasm and a dash of existential dread. He defies everything we know about superheroes, throwing elegance and righteousness out the window in exchange for an explosion of raw, uncontrolled power. He is chaos personified, the irony that makes us laugh while also thinking, holy shit, this guy needs therapy. He's proof that being invincible doesn't make you perfect. It just gives you more time to be imperfect. He heals fast, but he can't heal his laziness. He flies high, but he never gets a suit. He's immortal, but he lives as if he's already given up on life. And at the end of the day, Hancock is proof that even a god needs help, needs affection, needs a friend to say, stop being an asshole and use your power for something good, you jackass. He's a reminder that true power might not lie in muscles or in vulnerability. but in the capacity to change, to recognize oneself, and to try to be a better version of yourself, even if every step you take means you accidentally knock over a building and cause $1 million lawsuit. After all, it's like that phrase that echoes in your head, the hero we love to hate for being so powerful and so damn disorganized. So what about you? What do you think is going on inside Hancock? A power plant fueled by disillusionment? Is he the hero we deserve, or the hero we need to see to learn a lesson? Leave a comment. Share this with that friend who's the Hancock of your life, full of potential and a total mess. And let's keep this conversation going about the beautiful disaster known as the superhero. If you don't laugh or get pissed off, I've failed miserably, but I doubt it.